All right, so now we're going to get into switches, which is another way to evaluate expressions and values. So let's go ahead and create a new date, just like we did in the last video. So I'll say new date, and let's just do 2022. Yeah, we'll just do arguments. So 2022, 1, so that's the month, and then whatever, 10, and we'll do 8, 0, 0, so that's 8 o'clock. And then I'm going to get the month. So let's say const month equals get month. D dot get month. And then let's check that out. So month and save, and we get 1. So we're in January. All right, now I'm going to create a switch that takes in month and evaluates it. So basically we look at month and we can create different cases for the value. So for instance, the case of it being 1, so this is the syntax, case, then the value, and then a colon, and then this is the block of code we would run. So I'm just going to do console log, and we'll say it is January. And then once we're done, in this case, we want to write a break statement. So we just say break, which is kind of like a return. It just breaks out of this case. And then we'll do case 2 colon and do a console log here and say it is February and break. And we'll do one more, case 3, and console log and say it is March. Okay, now if it doesn't match any of these, what you want to do is have a default. So whatever you put in this default will happen if it doesn't match any one of those. So I'll say it is not January, February, or March. And we don't need to put a break on the default. So I'm going to save this, and you see we get it is January. Now, if I come up here and I change the month to 2, it says this is February. If I change it to 3, it is March. And if I change it to 4 or anything else, it's going to say it is not January, February, or March. All right, but I'm just going to put it back to January. So, I mean, switches are most commonly used with immediate values, meaning it's we're checking the month directly. You can use it with ranges, though, like we did with the hours in the last video. So, for example, we could do switch, and then what we would do in here is pass in true, and then we could say case and say hour. Oh, actually, we didn't define hour yet, did we? So let's go up here and let's just do what we did in the last video. We'll say hour equals d dot get hours, and then we'll come back down here and let's say case hour is less than 12, and then we'll console log here good morning, and then break, and then we'll do another case, and this one will be hour is less than 18, and we'll console log good afternoon, and then break, and finally we'll do case hour. Actually, we'll just do the default, and for the default we'll do good night, because obviously it's not going to match anything else. So if I save that, we see good morning. If I change the time, because right now the time is 8, if I change it to let's see, 13 and save, we're going to get good afternoon. And if I change it to anything above 18, like 19, it's going to say good night. So we can do it like this as far as ranges. So those are switch statements. You don't see them, they're not as common as if statements, but if you have something where you have like 5, 6, 7 plus else if, I think a switch is that's a good use case for a switch. All right, you see them in like reducer functions and stuff like that when it comes to like front-end frameworks and state management and all that. So those are switches. In the next video, we're going to do a little challenge.